Hey guys, what's going on? It's Rook and I'm back with another Brown Dust 2 video. I will be recapping the live stream that just wrapped up regarding the upcoming collab in Brown Dust 2. In addition, I'll be covering some teaser images for the upcoming second Annie here. So let's go and get started. I will be kind of separating this video in half. So the first half of this video, I'm going to go ahead and cover the major highlights of the live stream. You know, the major character reveals, the major animations, major images. So I'll go ahead and show you guys that, and then for the second half of this video I'm going to go ahead and take a look at the developer notes, because they do a really good job at explaining the details that didn't really translate as well to the live stream, just because on EN side we get a very rough translation from the live stream. So definitely stay tuned for that part of the video if you're interested in more of the little details for this upcoming update here, or the future updates. So let's go ahead and start off with some of these promotional images here. So of course, Brown Dust 2 is collabing with Goblin Slayer. So we have some Goblin Slayer promotional images here. We got Shara here actually, which is kind of nice. I really like seeing Shara get some focus here. Usually it's Just here who gets some love in the collabs, but now we have Shara here getting the attention, which she definitely deserves. I love the lush greenery going on here. It's really beautiful art. I think the artist did a really good job for this image in specific. It looks so good. We have another promotional image here. And then we have yet another image as well. Some more serious art styles here. And now we have the reveal. So these are the characters we will be getting in the upcoming collab. And let's go ahead and talk about the most controversial character, because that's definitely going to be fun. This is Goblin Slayer, and if you guys haven't been on Reddit or Discord, that's probably a good thing for you guys, because you haven't seen the entire everyone's kind of all the debating going on regarding Goblin Slayer being included in this collab. And personally for me, I'll tell you guys right now, my honest opinions, not the biggest fan of this decision. We're getting 4 characters to this collab, and they used up one of the spots on a male character in a game where they've emphasized that they don't really plan on making newer male character costumes or designs to be playable in the near future. And they even kind of said this point, even in the actual live stream, they mentioned this, and they just said that they're doing this more just for this collab. It's more of kind of a one-off thing. However, it's such a waste. We could have gotten characters like Cowgirl, we could have gotten the Witch, we could have even gotten Guild Receptionist Lady. You know, there were definitely other options for the 4th character slot, and they used it on Goblin Slayer, which, no hate to Goblin Slayer, I think he's a cool character. I've watched the anime. I think the anime is okay. It's solid. It's a solid anime for the most part. Probably wouldn't watch it again, but again, it's definitely not a bad anime. But I do like his character from the anime. However, and I like his design a lot, I'm not really interested in him in Brown Dust 2. Just, I don't know, I don't really care about having him in Brown Dust 2, and it even sucks because he is the free +5 character. So usually we'd get a character like Yomi last time, which is very, you know, attractive, very beautiful character design, but this time we get Goblin Slayer here, which is kind of a step down. Not sure what happened there, but yeah, I imagine what happened most likely is the IP holder kind of forced them to include Goblin Slayer into the collab. That's what I assume what happened, but again, I don't know the details. Maybe the developers generally wanted to include Goblin Slayer in the collab. I'm not too sure. I think the easiest solution would have been making him like an NPC character, so you get to interact with him just like in main story. We have male characters in the main story, and we get to interact with them. We get to, you know, talk to them. We get to know them, you know, as characters, as a person. But they're not like playable, or a lot of the newer ones aren't playable, right? So I wish they kind of did the same thing here with Goblin Slayer. So again, bit of a you know, downer for me, at least. I think they could have had a different option for that. So next up we do have Priestess here. So this is an image of her. I don't really have much to say. This is a pre-existing character design, but you know, solid design. We got High Elf Archer here as well. Again, another solid design. And then lastly, we have Sword Maiden, definitely the most exciting aspect of this upcoming collab, and for good reason. Definitely the more the revealing character designs that we're looking for in Brown Dust 2. Definitely fits Brown Dust 2. Very beautiful design. I love the emphasis on the chest, even the side cleavage is showing off here, and a lot of the side areas being shown off. And I love the kind of gold accents kind of running across her body. Very beautiful design here. And I was kind of excited about pulling for her. Then I saw her skill animation, and I'm no longer that excited. And I'll show you guys why. So let's go ahead and take a look at the skill animations. They did show this on stream here. So of course we have Goblin Slayer's skill animation. We have High Elf Archer skill animation. Definitely focusing more on the action-packed kind of theming going on here. That's Priestess's skill animation. And then this is a Sword Maiden skill animation. And I will tell you guys right now, I'm not sure about you guys, but I am extremely underwhelmed with these skill animations here. Unironically, Goblin Slayer might have like the best skill animation just because it's really cool. But the other three, I was hoping for something, you know, for those female characters, hoping for something more looter, something more in line with Senran Kagura. That's what I'm really trying to base it off of, just because that was a pretty good collab. Looking back, I thought the collab was solid at the time, but looking back, especially comparing with this collab reveals, that collab was really good in comparison here. So I'm not sure what's going on. They definitely kind of disappointed me with these skill animations, especially for like, you know, Elf Archer is really kind of boring. That's probably the worst. That might be the worst. Actually, Priestess isn't that good either. I don't know. I don't really like either of their skill animations that much. Sword Maidens is definitely the it probably is the best skill animation. I actually am looking better at this promotional image here for the skill animation. I like the this is kind of focused. That's kind of nice. I appreciate that. And it's kind of shiny in the side area. But besides that, I think they could have done better with these skill animations. I imagine what happened is the IP holders put a lot of restrictions on what they could do as skill animations, and we know, you know, Goblin Slayer has fan service elements. We have a whole episode where they go to like a lake and they have like swimsuits on, and we got like jiggle physics happening and all that. And then we also have, I believe, another episode where they go to like a hot spring or like some sort of like a sauna or something. But here it's kind of boring. They definitely try to go with these mix of like these action poses, but at the same time they don't really do really much with like making them lewd or like revealing. So I don't know. I'm pretty disappointed with these. I was gonna say a little. I'm pretty disappointed, and I probably won't be pulling for Sword Maiden anymore, just because that animation was not worth it. It's definitely not worth it for me, at least. We do have this kind of chart that explains, you know, the entire all the costumes we'll be getting. So we'll be getting, of course, +5 Goblin Slayer. Should have been a different character, but it is what it is. He's a cool character for what who he is, and I do like the armor design. We'll never probably use him though. We have Priestess, of course, for pickup. High Elf Archer for pickup, and in addition, we have Sword Maiden, who's probably going to be the most popular character of this collab for pickup. So this is the exciting part. This is one I'm actually was really happy about in the collab, not in the collab, in the collab stream at least. The second Annie kind of news updates. So they did give us some promotional or some teaser images for Wedding Eclipse's skill animation. At first I thought this was the live 2D, which I was really excited about, but then I looked at the developer notes and they said this is the skill animation or skill cutscene, so not live 2D. Hopefully still get one. She gets one, because I literally have been asking in every survey, please add Wedding Eclipse live 2D this summer. It needs to happen. And I gave a whole explanation of the entire interaction, what it would be. So I don't know if they're really gonna read that, but hopefully they do, because I'd really like them to include a really nice, really interactive live 2D, and the possibilities are endless. But let me go ahead and talk about this image here. We actually have some better looks at the full, not a full image, but a more zoomed out photo, zoomed out look at this image. She looks so good. I love the, you know, she's like pressing on her chest area. She's got this very soft, very like delicate expression on her face. It's so nice. She's got this really beautiful wedding dress, and now we'll take a closer look at the parts of this wedding dress as well. But I love that the tummy's actually kind of revealing here. It's a very revealing wedding dress. It's definitely exceeding my expectations here. I knew they were gonna cook with a wedding dress Eclipse, but they're doing even better job here than I thought. Of course, we have the background where it seems to be in bed, definitely, you know, the night after the wedding. So I'm loving the, you know, the setting they're kind of putting together here. I definitely appreciate that. It looks so good. We have some feet there for the feet injurers, I guess. It's such a random one to promote, but okay. Here we go, guys. Look at this. I mean, this is like a higher quality look at the image here. But we can actually see the textures on her skin. The wedding dress has like this floral pattern going on. Definitely a more revealing wedding dress. As you can see, lots more skin showing. She's pressing against the chest area. Again, that soft, you know, look on the lips here. And then, you know, the galaxy kind of theming hair on her highlights. That's a part of every Eclipse costume though, and every Eclipse design. But I can never get enough of it. I love it so much. I love Eclipse. She's literally my second favorite character in Brown Dust 2, and the character that got me into playing Brown Dust 2. So I have a strong attachment to this character. I love everything about her. I do love Nebris is my number one though for Brown Dust 2. I will say I'm a bigger Nebris fan, but Eclipse is a strong runner-up. If Nebris didn't exist, it'd be Eclipse. But I love those two, and those two were the ones I was voting for for in the popularity poll. So I'm happy that at least one of them won, and Eclipse definitely deserves it for, you know, she's an awesome character, beautiful design, and a really fun personality. Love everything about her. And this design, I'm like, you know, I'm really gassing up Eclipse here, but I love this character so much. I'm just so happy that we're getting, you know, the wedding dress for her. I can't believe it's happening, and it's going to be absolutely incredible once we get this in game. It is a free +5 character, so definitely look out for that, guys. You just have to play through the game. If you're kind of still hesitant on playing Roundest 2, guys, just play Roundest 2. Download the game. We're going to be getting +5 free wedding Eclipse. Is the kit going to be good? I don't care. It's a free wedding Eclipse. So definitely excited about that. Can't wait to see more news regarding that cutscene and a closer look at her actual full design. And then lastly, before I go on to the developer notes, where we're going to be covering more of the little details, let's go ahead and talk about, or not talk about, I'll show you guys this code here. So this is a BD2 Broadcast Viewer Award. Sorry, I can't speak right now. For 10 free draw tickets. So those of you who don't know how to redeem these, it's pretty simple. I believe you can go through in-game and redeem them. How I usually do it though is I go ahead and just go into Google, just so I don't have to log into the game each time just to redeem these codes. I just go into Google and I type in Brownest2 redeem code, or Brownest2 code redeem, whatever, and then literally press search. Literally one of the first options is literally going to be a link for that, and it's going to be official Brownest2 page, and it'll literally say put in your username and then put in the code. So put in your username and then put in the code, which is BD2 COLLAB the third, or 3RD. Go ahead and put that into the you know, that little search, and then there you go, the little text box, and you'll be able to redeem your 10 free draw tickets once you log in back into the game in your in-game mail. So definitely keep an eye out for that. So highly recommend you guys go ahead and do this, just because you're going to need the pulls. Not for this Goblin Slayer collab. I've been seeing a lot of people saying they're going to be skipping this Goblin Slayer collab, and I am definitely one of them. But if you are interested in the Goblin Slayer collab, you definitely want to go ahead and get these 10 free draw tickets. That's going to help you quite a bit. But for me, I'm definitely saving up more for that Annie. That summer is going to be absolutely insane for Roundest 2. So I've been talking so much for this part. Let me go ahead and talk about the actual developer notes now. All right, guys, let's go ahead and take a look at these developer notes now. So first off, they do go ahead and explain that the entire collab is going to happen from May 8th through June 5th. So about 4 weeks, which is about a month, which I think is a good amount of time for the collab here. We also have a description of each of the characters here. So they give us a bit of a, you know, profession description of what they each do. So you guys can go ahead and pause and read the screen if you're not too familiar with these characters. And we've already talked about the designs here, but we do have a bit of a glimpse at their possible kits here. So for Goblin Slayer, he's going to be a fire property physical damage dealer. For Priestess, she is going to be a light property magic damage dealer and a debuffer. For the High Elf Archer here, she's going to be a wind property physical damage dealer. And then lastly, Sword Maiden, most popular character of this entire collab, I imagine, is going to be a light property magic damage dealer. Very fitting for her character, so I like that consistency there. And they actually go ahead and, you know, briefly talk about the reason why they're going to underpower these characters and not make them these meta broken characters. And it's because of back then during the Mushoku Tensei collab, they made those characters really good meta wise, and that ended up having long-term issues where newer players weren't really able to take advantage of that because they didn't get the access to the collab. They weren't playing around that time. They weren't able to get those characters, and the chances of us getting a rerun from Mushoku Tensei, they actually talk about collab reruns later on, but there's always a possibility, but it's definitely hard to get a collab rerun in any gacha game. So I could definitely see the reasoning why you're going to underpower a lot of these collab characters, which makes sense. These collab characters are more so designed to bring newer people into the game and just for fun. It's more of a fun thing rather than trying to bring in a new meta character to, you know, shake the entire game's atmosphere. We do have some more information. This is a similar chart to what I showed you guys earlier. We also have a pickup schedule. So first we'll be getting Priestess from May 8th through June 5th. At the same time, we'll be getting the High Elf Archer as well during that time. Afterward, we'll be getting from May 15th through May 29th the banner for Cher, the Lapis Witch Cher. So very fitting considering she is part of this event from what it seems, or very prominent figure in the entire collab event at least. And then we have the Sword Maiden as well from May 22nd to June 5th. They know exactly what they're doing by pushing Sword Maiden to the near end of the collab. Makes sense. And then we have Lavencia, looks like it. So the Office Lavencia, May 29th to June 12th. She's getting her rerun, so that's pretty fun. We have an exclusive gear pickup schedule as well, so you guys go ahead and pause the screen if you're interested in that. Some more artwork. I already showed you guys that earlier. This actually gives us a bit of description regarding what the storyline is going to look like for this upcoming collab. Seems like Cher's going to kind of give us a backstory, a bit of a flashback, where she ends up meeting these characters from Goblin Slayer. And, you know, seems pretty fun, pretty interesting. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing how this story plays out for sure. I think it's kind of funny that it's supposed to be, they're in search of a relic for her graduation thesis. That's kind of funny. That's like her flashback. I think that's kind of hilarious. I love that. We do have some kind of chibi art, you know, of the actual map from the collab here. You could actually see some very familiar characters here. So like that quite a bit. Is that the guild receptionist? Guys, we could have had the guild receptionist lady. I believe that's her. It looks kind of like her. Man, we could have had her. Hopefully they have Cowgirl here. I hope she shows up as well. And maybe even Witch. Who knows? Some more artwork here. This piece of artwork caused a lot of debate in the community. I don't really have much to say about it personally. Season event. During the collaboration season, you will be able to experience 2 seasonal events, each lasting for 2 weeks in succession. So Journey to Another World here is the first season events. We also have a new Fiend Hunter boss, Granvar. Is that a character from the show? I have 0 idea. I don't really. Again, I've only watched the anime like through it once, and I don't really remember too much of it. But a bit of a description regarding this Fiend Hunter. And then this is the next event. It's going to be the Goblin Doomsday. Ooh, that's a fun name. And this is very clearly just a goblin here. And is there a name for this one? Oh, here it is. So Fiend Hunter boss, Master of the Fiend Den. Interesting. But a description regarding this Fiend Hunter for those of you who are interested in that. Here they show a sneak peek at the skill cutscenes. We've already seen the full skill cutscenes, so this is a bit not really that important, but you guys have already seen these images here. So I'll go ahead and go through that. And they'll also go ahead and talk about some updates for May. So we have some quality of life updates that I've seen a lot of people, it's been received quite well. We have a recommended formation, which I think that's going to be a really nice touch for players. It seems like we'll be able to even look at other players' formations and be able to kind of like copy and employ, deploy those types of formations, which I think it's going to be really nice. In addition, we have save gear and presets. So I see a lot of people who are into the meta and, you know, really into like the gear stuff, really excited about this. Personally, for me, I didn't even really realize that people switched out gear pretty often or like had different like gear sets for characters depending on the situation. I kind of just gave my character like one set of UR gear that maybe I'll change out every now and then if I find a different piece of UR gear that's better or higher upgraded. But usually I just kind of stick the usual gear onto my characters. I don't really have different sets for the same character, so I didn't really know that was a thing. So clearly you guys can tell I'm really not a meta guy. I always say that enough. Hopefully I say that enough, but I'm definitely not the meta guy to ask. But yeah, I didn't know that was a thing people really wanted, but I'm happy for you guys. That's awesome. Independent gear save. Again, the fans who are really into the meta, they're gonna really appreciate that. So more information regarding that as well. Gear custom mark. Again, they're really going all out with the gear. You can even compare gear. Actually, that's kind of a nice feature. I like that quite a bit. I did not see that through the first time I read through these developer notes. Actually, yeah. You know, I like this one. Maybe I am a meta guy. I don't know. I like this feature. No, I'm not a meta guy. But definitely, I definitely appreciate this feature. Set costume use order. So I actually like this one quite a bit here. That's gonna be really awesome because it always like and I always end up having like the order. I always wanted to have it to where I could arrange the order. So I want this costume to play next, and then this one and this one when I'm doing like auto play, so or auto battle. So this is such a nice change. I really appreciate this one. So I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, I love the combat for Brown 2. I don't know if I've talked about it, but Brown 2 is my favorite gacha game, not just because of the the lewdness and the character designs and the skill animations and the skill interactions. I mean, those are all definitely awesome. But what I also like about it is the gameplay. I love the turn-based combat. It reminds me of so many classic JRPGs. So I really appreciate that. But yeah, set costume order, I think that's gonna be a really nice touch in addition to the game. And then lastly, you have a sneak peek here. They only have this one image. I showed you guys this a very close-up image early on in the video, so you guys can go ahead and rewind the video if you want to take another closer look at that. But yeah, this is awesome. I've already talked about Eclipse enough, but I'm so happy. This is the best part of this update. If this was not included in the the live stream and in these developer notes, I would not be as excited and as happy as I am right now. Eclipse definitely changed my mood from being very, this is kind of disappointing, very lackluster, to, okay, well, that all kind of sucks for the collab, and I will be skipping all these collab banners. However, Eclipse, I will patiently wait for. Hopefully she gets that live 2D. Hopefully. And then they also go ahead and talk about collaboration events, and they actually explain the reason why they do it. It's really good for increasing the player count, drawing new players in, which, to be fair, it does work. When I was playing Nikke, what got me into playing Nikke was the Nier collab. I never even really heard of Nikke until I saw the Nier collab, kind of get really popular around social media when it was announced. I was like, oh, okay, Nier collab, that sounds pretty interesting. And then I checked out Nikke, and I was like, okay, I really like this. So I started Nikke right when the Nier collab started. So definitely can see why, they use collabs as a way to increase player count. I definitely think it helps. And even with Brown Disc 2, I never even heard of Brown Disc 2 until the Mushoku Tensei collab. That circulated on Reddit and Discord and all that. So I think it definitely helps. It does increase the player base. Now, how players will receive this specific collab, I'm not too sure about. From what it seems, I don't think a lot of people are that happy about it. But we also have some information regarding they're considering the fatigue caused by limited characters. So they've informed us there will be no new limited character releases in this upcoming summer season from June to August. That is really, really interesting. So a lot of the swimsuits we'll be getting, all the new swimsuits, no limited characters, which I think is kind of crazy. I believe last year we had Therese as a limited character, Summer Therese. I believe so. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that's what happened last year. And of course, Summer Davio is also a limited character. But from what it seems, we won't be getting that this summer, which I think is kind of nice. Listen, I'm all for that. I definitely can appreciate the charm of having a limited character and being like, yeah, I have this exclusive character you can only get every now and then during this time of year. But, I like the fact that they're not going to, constrain themselves just to having a limited character just for the sake of it. So I really appreciate that. They're also going to be updating the selective draw, which I think is really good, because selective draw, everyone always says not to do, which I always tell people do not do the selective draw, but looks like they're going to make some adjustments. Before, it was going to be select 6 costumes, and then the unselected 5-star costumes may appear randomly. But now, after the update, they're going to select 12 costumes, and then an unselected 5-star costumes will not appear. So I think that's a very nice change. I think that may give some people more of a reason to use it, and hopefully they give more rewards. I think that's going to really help as well. But guys, that is really it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Definitely let me know in the comments below. What do you guys think about the information that I just told you guys? Definitely let me know your thoughts. Will you guys be pulling on this collab? I'll tell you guys my thoughts. I'll be skipping this collab basically. I'm going to do the collab. I'll play through the collab for the story and, to get the free resources, the free dia and the, tickets for sure. But in terms of the characters, won't be pulling on any of them. Definitely will be saving all my resources for that Annie, for second Annie, for the summer, costumes we'll be getting. I'm so excited for that. And again, Summer Eclipse, that's the main highlight here. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Definitely like, comment, subscribe to the channel if you're interested in more Brown Disc 2 content like this. And I'll catch you guys in the next video.